Okay, for anybody who might think of doing something similar to this, let me just warn you, this is not easy. And I don't think that anybody watching this is probably dumb enough to try doing something like this. It's just like telling people about your beliefs is so hard. Like, beliefs are abstract, they are whimsical, they change all the time. And telling people your beliefs can be a little bit scary because, like, you don't want to offend people. You don't want people to think less of you. And sharing your beliefs is like sharing such an important part of who you are that it feels like there's room for that. Like, it feels like there is room for people to think less of you, or to love you less, or to act differently around you, or whatever, based off of your beliefs. And so I think that a lot of people close the door, and myself included, and I am really struggling with that right now, figuring out how to even begin to articulate my beliefs. But I have a lot of them. I have a lot of beliefs, and I really want to share them with people, because if I care about this person, I care about my family, I care about my friends, I care about people who are close to me. I just care about people in general. And like, if I believe that my beliefs are good, which I do, then I should want to share those beliefs. Both because I think that my beliefs can help other people, and two, because, like, it's nice to have people understand and to have people be empathetic towards you and your beliefs. So, I mean, maybe I'll just start at the beginning. I grew up in a wonderful home. I had wonderful, loving parents. I had amazing siblings. I had 6 siblings. They were all super different. I was involved in pretty much all of their lives in different ways. I feel pretty lucky that I was born in the family where I was. I think that I had a really great opportunity to interact with my oldest siblings all the way down to my youngest siblings, and in a lot of different capacities. And I hope that I will continue to have opportunities to just maintain all of those relationships and, make them all as important as possible. And I recognize that I am coming up short in that area in a lot of different ways. And for that, I am really sorry. Back to my childhood. My childhood had a huge impact on me as a person. And, one of my beliefs in life is that probably the most important defining part of anybody's life is their developmental years. That's not a unique belief. I think that a lot of people share those beliefs, and that was true for me. So I had siblings that did all kinds of different things. They kind of ranged on the spectrum from being athletic to being artistic to being, very nerdy to being very brainy. And I think that's terrific. And for me, that was hugely impactful on defining me as a person, because I found myself trying all of these different things. I tried, all the things I just mentioned. I had opportunities in life to be very artistic, to be very musical, to seek kind of academic accolades, to athletic opportunities, making sports a huge part of my life, making the outdoors a huge part of my life, making skiing a huge part of my life, whatever, I could go on. And I think for me, that's a good thing, because it allowed me to have all of these different opportunities to interact with different people, to kind of get my feet wet and, the people who enjoy these types of things, what are the things that they do, what are the kinds of things that they say, how do they dress, whatever, and kind of really try and understand these people. And I think that because of kind of interacted with these different groups in this way that I have pretty good perspective now. I think that's one of my biggest strengths as a person, is my ability to relate, and a huge part of that comes from the perspective that I've gained in my life. And that perspective largely came from my childhood and the myriad of different opportunities I had to try different things. I have lamented at times how I wish that and I think we all do to a certain degree, how I wish that I kind of was more of a master at one thing. You know, we always hear like it's better to be a master of one than a master of none or whatever. But I don't think that's necessarily always true. I think that there can be great value from being well-rounded and having, like I mentioned, good perspective on these different areas of life. And my childhood was probably the biggest contributor to that, as I've mentioned. So now, during my youth, I grew up believing, I grew up in a very conservative home. Obviously, I had conservative parents, Christian upbringing, specifically the LDS Church, and the ideas that, kind of the core traits of being a good person in that type of home, being hardworking, putting God above everything else, making sure that you're prioritizing that in your life. And along with that, making sure that you are being a good, honest, decent human being. You're being charitable, you're being so many of those things are still so very important to me. But a lot of those things at the same time, my perspective just has changed as I've gotten older. And some of those beliefs have changed. But during my youth, kind of just like as any kid would when they're young, I believed what my parents believed. And my parents' beliefs are good. They are good people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's awesome. But there was always a part of me in my youth who, where I was always ready to question everything and to try and seek greater knowledge, and not necessarily doubt, but to, like I said, to just seek for greater truth. And I think that we all do that. And that's what makes being a human so great, is that we're always trying to improve what we have up here and stuff. So talking about beliefs is tough. As I've obviously made that very clear. But if you have made it to this point, thank you so much for caring enough about me as a person to be willing to listen to me ramble about basically nothing for this long. And I'm going to try and improve in my ability to share my beliefs and be more specific and share specific beliefs, and not be so concerned or worried about what negative impacts that's going to have on my relationships with people I care about and stuff, because I do believe that my family cares about me enough and my friends care about me enough to not discredit or to look at me in a different way or whatever, based off my beliefs. So I guess just thank you and stay tuned. So